Remember this? This is Mammoth Cave National Park, and today, although we've been here before, we went to the Sal Hollow Trail last time. Today we're going down to Turnhole Bend Trail. No bicycles. Went out this way. And last time I told you there were trail cameras on the trees. I didn't really show you a good view of them. Here they are. There's one on this side. And one on this side. Say hello. Hi guys. Hey, this would be a quick 3-mile hike. So off we go. Be taking the Buffalo Creek Trail up to the Turnhole Bend Trail. Blue blazing it, and hoping to have a really good time. We'll check back in a little bit later. 1/4 mile down the trail, and we've got this lovely little downhill stretch to go. It really is a beautiful day. Temperature is in the 60s, even though it's the beginning of February. Promises to be a great trip, although tomorrow it's going to be wet. It's going to start raining tonight, just like it did last time, only it's going to keep raining all day tomorrow, so it's going to be uphill and in the rain on the way out of here. Not looking forward to that, but I am looking forward to today, so hike on. If I didn't mention it before, we do share the trail with horses. One of the great hazards of this trail is the horse manure. The trail is pretty moist in spots. This rut was left by trail maintenance. They come through in a 4-wheel motorized vehicle and yeah, dug themselves a nice little rut. We'll just step around that. Okay, so I have reached the intersection of the Buffalo Trail and the Turnhole Bend Trail. You can see there's a dry prong trail that goes to Homestead campsite. This direction is the Buffalo Trail, which is where I came out of last time when I was up at Sal Hollow. And this direction is the Turnhole Bend Trail. And I would have walked right past this intersection if I hadn't just glanced up and happened to see that sign. And it actually took me a couple of minutes to figure out, oh gee, I'm at the intersection. So I'll show you. There it is, Turnhole Bend, that away. So we'll just be hiking on. So I have never actually hiked this trail before. I've crossed it several times on Buffalo Trail and the Sal Hollow Trail. The hiking project app says that it's all downhill. Well, that's not exactly what my eyes are showing me, but we'll see later on down the trail. I've just started down this one. Okay, so I'm a 1/2 mile in on the Turnhole Bend Trail, and the predictions kind of turned out to be true. The first 1/4 mile was definitely not downhill. In fact, there were a couple of pretty steep little climbs. But from there on out, it's been pretty much downhill. Dreading tomorrow, it's going to be wet and uphill. But we'll make it. If you saw my video from the Sal Hollow Trail, you'll recognize this place, I suppose. This is the intersection where the Turnhole Bend Trail intersects the Sal Hollow Trail. Last time I came from that direction, which is a pretty nice trail actually, and went down that way on that little bitty skinny Saw Hollow trail was not a pleasant experience. This time I came from down here and we'll be heading up in that direction. So we're just crossing the trail from last time. You can see we are 9/10 of a mile from the campsite. So, yippee-yi-yay, horse patty. So, their 9/10 of a mile sign was a little bit off. We've gone a mile and a half since then. And according to Hiking Project, I've got about another half mile left. But it is beautiful. Check out the view across there. So, back to the trail up this way. Come across a couple of these on the trail so far today. And this one looks like a double. They're called blowdowns because, well, they blew down. Mess up your whole day if you happen to be hiking through here when it happens. But as it stands, it's just a minor inconvenience you have to step over, and maybe a good place to sit down and take a break. Thank you for putting that sign there, trail maintenance, the sign that says not trail, because I would have sure gone that way. It looks like the trail. But the other sign that makes me deliriously happy is this one right here that says Turnhole Bend Campsite. That away, so we're heading out. Okay, so this is our first look at home for the night. Pretty nice little campsite. There's a fire pit over there, tent pad there. It is a little bit windy up here, and it's not entirely encouraging to see these blowdowns this close to the campsite. But plenty of people have camped here, so I guess we'll make it do. I had a nice little Appalachian Trail climb to get up here. Just at the very end, you can see I came up from that sort of direction. So pretty nice hill getting up here. Overall, pretty nice and worth it. You can't really see it from here, but over down in that valley is the Green River. And then to the right in that valley is the Green River. But up in front of us in that valley is the Green River. Interesting place. Let's get set up. Okay guys, so when you come stay at a campground, don't do this. That trash is there, and if I leave it sitting there, I'm going to get blamed for it because my name is on this campsite. So I'm going to have to pack it out. Thanks, guys. So here's home for tonight. All set up. Had to use a few rocks to keep the tent stakes in the ground because of the wind, but hey, it's level. It's good. See you in the morning. Well, all nice and snugly warm inside my tent, ready to go to bed. It started raining as predicted, but it's only been little sprinkles, so not a big deal. It's a great night out, staying warm, staying dry. So, time for bed now. We'll see you in the morning. Good night. It is 5:30 in the morning, and I am getting ready to book out of here. It has been raining. I don't know if you can hear it. been raining like that all night. And the forecast is for it to rain like that all day. So I'm just gonna wait for sunlight. I've had my breakfast, I've had my coffee. I'm gonna wait for the sun to come up and reluctantly break camp and try to make it to the car before I drown. It's going to be fun. So I made it all the way back to Buffalo Creek Junction. I didn't video anything this morning because, well, it was raining hard. I got soaked. Tell you about it after I get back to the car, but it was utterly amazing. So off we go. We're 2/3 of the way. Get back to the car. Okay, so I wanted to tell you about my tent last night. It started raining, as you probably saw, a little after dark, and it just got really, really heavy, and it poured actually all night long. And I woke up, about 5 o'clock this morning, 5:30, something like that. And it was still pouring. And I started looking around my tent, and I saw the floor, the tent was dry, but the floor, the fabric of the floor looked like it was starting to get saturated. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to start getting wet in here. I've got to get out of here, real soon. So I prayed and I asked God to ease up on the rain so I could get out of there. I was figuring on breaking camp right around daybreak. And son of a gun, I started seeing some light come over the horizon and opened up the tent. And it just almost stopped raining. It went down to just a little drizzle. I got out of the tent and looked. The tent pad that they had insisted that you use to put your tent on was flooded. Everything else in the campsite was relatively dry. It was drained. But the tent pad itself had a good 3 inches of water standing in it. So I had been trash talking my tent, like you do with inanimate objects. And I could hear it, whining a little bit and telling me I didn't know what I was talking about. When I got out there and saw the lake that I was camped in, I was just amazed because I stayed dry all night long. So kudos to Big Agnes, the maker of my tent, that kept me dry even under those conditions. I am more than impressed with it. Great hike, great trip. I love Mammoth Cave. It's probably the most beautiful place I've ever hiked in. If you haven't been here, got to come and see it. Okay, so we'll see you next time.